Hello Central School, it's Mrs. Hewing here with your first book talk for the year. Today and over the next few book talks I'm going to be talking about the 2018 nominated Bluestem books. So here we go. The very first book nominated for the Bluestem Award for 2018 is called 11 Birthdays by Wendy Mass. It is a 4.8 reading level. This book is kind of cool because it focuses on two kids, Amanda and Leo. Now, Amanda and Leo were born on the very same day, and every year since their birth, they've celebrated their birthdays together. At age 10, they had a huge fight on their birthday, and as they're getting ready to celebrate their 11th birthdays, they realize they're going to have separate birthday parties for the first time ever in their life. They both go ahead and have their birthday parties, but they feel like something's missing. Now the problem is, when they wake up the morning after their 11th birthday, they realize they're repeating the day again. It's still their birthday. The two of them have to work together to become friends again and to figure out why they keep reliving the same day over and over. Next up on the Bluestem list is A Blind Guide to Stinkville, written by Beth Barble. Now this is a 4.5 reading level. This book is about a girl named Alice. Now, Alice has something called albinism, and it's never been a big deal to her or anyone in their family. They've always just gone with it. But Alice moves from where she's lived her entire life in the Northwest to a small town, Sinkville, in North Carolina. It's the first time Alice has ever had to introduce herself to new people and had to explain what albinism is and why she is legally blind. Now, she can see some, it's just she can't see enough to legally do a lot of things that other people can do. Okay? She loves to read, and she finds safety in the school or in the town library. And throughout the book, she starts to make friends. But she's trying to show everyone how she can fit in Stinkville and how she's really not so different than anyone else. Next up on the list is Among the Hidden by Margaret Peterson Haddix. This is the first book in the Shadow Children series. Now, I loved the series, but I will tell you this one was just a little slow getting started, so you really kind of have to stick with it. It's about a boy named Luke. Now, Luke has never been to school. He's never had a birthday party. He's never had a friend. The only people Luke has ever been around is his family. Luke's one of the Shadow Children, a third child born in a family. Now, at the time this book takes place, it's against the law to have more than 3 children, or more than 2 children. Third children are illegal, and they are hunted down by the population police. Now, over the course of time, Luke's family farm gets cut down, the trees are cut down around it, the fields are mowed down, and his little quiet house that he's always grown up in, where he could explore the woods and explore the family farm, becomes part of a town, part of a neighborhood. And one day, peeking out of his house, he sees another shadow child in the house across the road. Throughout the story, Luke and this other girl, Jen, start sneaking back and forth out of the shadows to form a friendship. Next up on the list, we have The Book Scavenger by Jennifer Chambliss Burton. Now, this is a 5.5 reading level. It's about a girl named Emily, and she and her family have just moved to San Francisco. She is so excited because she realizes that Garrison Griswold, the creator of the online book scavenger hunt game, has been attacked and is actually in a coma in the hospital. No one knows anything about the awesome, unbelievable, brand new game he was about to launch online. Now, Emily and her friend James discover an odd book hidden that seems like it's part of the scavenger hunt community that she's always been a part of. So they think, though, that this might lead them to Griswold and why he's in the hospital, okay? But others are hunting for this book, too, trying to find it because it's supposed to be extremely valuable. And Emily and James race to solve a bunch of puzzles before Griswold's attackers come after them. Next up on the list is Crenshaw by Catherine Applegate. Now in this book you're going to be reading about a boy named Jackson. And Jackson and his family have fallen on hard times. They don't have much money. There's no money for rent, very little money for food either. His parents, his little sister, and their dog may have to move into their minivan and be homeless. It's not the first time in Jackson's life that they've had to live in their van. Now, Crenshaw is a cat. He's big, he's giant, and he's imaginary. Okay? He's come back into Jackson's life to help him. And this is the second time Crenshaw showed up. Crenshaw was in his life the first time his family was living in the minivan. So, can Crenshaw and Jackson figure out what to do to help their family? Next up is a picture book, Crossing Niagara, The Death-Defying Tightrope Adventures of the Great Blondin by Matt Tavares. Now, this is a really interesting picture book. It's really a lot of fun. It talks about the Great Blondin, who was the first man to ever walk on a tightrope across Niagara Falls, which is an amazing feat when you think about it. He set out with this idea in mind that he thought he could do it and he could be a tightrope walker. And it talks about the different stunts and the different things he tried doing to make it across. It even tells the story of how he promised to one day walk across the tightrope with a man on his back and he would be blindfolded. Well, the guy who's been setting up his shows, his manager, didn't know that it was actually going to be him on the Great Blondin's back until the day of the show. And, well, he agreed to it and they made it successfully across. The last book I want to talk to you about today is called Dash. It's written by Kirby Larson. It is a 3.9 reading level, and this is just such a sweet book. It is a historical fiction. It takes place during World War II. Now, during this time, a lot of Japanese Americans were looked down upon only because people didn't know if they were siding with the United States or if they were siding with Japan during World War II. Even though they lived in America and were American citizens, a lot of people were afraid of them, that they would sympathize and be in support of Japan. So during this time, the Japanese Americans were taken and sent to internment camps where they could be watched to make sure that they weren't aiding and helping the Japanese. Well, young Mitzi here on the cover, her family's getting sent to this internment camp. And she's very upset, she's very scared. And the worst part of all is they will not let Mitzi take along her family dog, Dash. So Mitzi's very scared, she's upset, she's worried about her dog, and she starts writing letters to her dog, who one of her neighbors has graciously decided to house and take care of until Mitzi's family can come back home. Throughout the book, Mitzi's writing to Dash, and Dash is writing back to Mitzi. All right, now those are the first 7 books in the Bluestem nominated books this year. So I hope you found something there that you will like. Remember, you have to read 4 of the Bluestem books in order to be eligible to vote in March. If you didn't like any of those, I've got more that'll be coming up soon. I hope you found your next book, though. Have a good day.